Just recently when I played Luca, I was like, yeah, forgetting stuff. Sounds horrible. Your Pearl Harbor Descent. Personal record. Fahr rein. Uno. It's named Pearl Harbor. So it comes down to on which side you are, but that can either be quite the success or quite the horrible failure. Since the makers are Japanese, I'm expecting failure. My name is Anemone, and I lead the Android Resistance. This is a record of the battles I've experienced and my losses. I leave it here as a warning to myself. Good, learn from your mistakes. But the machine life form attack lands far too close for comfort. I smell an accurate odor and know that some of my hair has been singed off. Oh there, you're getting a bit close to the enemy there, my friend. Anemone, retreat for now. It's an order. That's a good order. Yates, my captain, Rosie. I obey her without hesitation, running from the front as soon as I take out a few nearby enemies. Good lad. Feet flying beneath me, I leap into the hastily built trench where my resistance comrades are gathered. I got time to build a trench. Cool. How many battles is this now? Same sight and sounds, the same struggle of attrition. My resistance forces play the same war on repeat with no end in sight. I don't even remember why we are fighting anymore, but I must continue regardless. How about changing your strategy, if it doesn't work? I must continue until one side or the other is dead. This looks bad, Shion. What should we do? Calm down, Lily. We'll find an opening somewhere. You don't search for an opening, you make one. Yeah, at best would you do that with explosives. Or a tank. I propose using a tank. Dahlia, wait! Got that as I'm going to flee the trench and return to Rose. She brought us here after all. She must have a plan of some kind. Don't expect your leaders to have plans for everything. As a mere horticulture in Roses simply squints off in the distance. There's been a change in enemy movement, she says finally. Someone just started fighting over there. But that's not possible, stammers Margaret. We're all here. Oh, that's right. There are only 9 of us left capable of fighting the machines. Captain Rose, Barbara, Lily, Sonia, Erika, Margaret, Shion, Anya, and me. Anemone. You have an interesting naming sense, I will say. Well, that's left of the 8 descent forces. I assume they sent not just one unit in, but a few more. If that few are left, I would say the mission has failed. One that took place roughly 200 years ago. Quite a while in the past, actually. An uneasy Sonia pulls Shion close and chews on a loose strand of hair. Yeah, it's a very human behavior. I don't like it, she says. But if it's some kind of machine trap. I wait for a while, hard pounding until they hear the enemy fire lessen. Okay, I say. This looks like a chance. Let's pull back. Someone's fighting with the Anemone. Tries Dahlia. Can't abandon them. Oh, so you want to risk all of our lives for some stranger? Come on. I don't even know if this mystery fighter is on our side or not. That's not what I said. Enough, you two. Barks Shion. The captain makes the final decision on this. Yes, it does, technically speaking. There's a chain of command here. After Shion speaks, on his turn to Captain Rose. He looks us in the eyes and nods slowly before starting to speak. Yeah, the enemy is heading towards the explosive we set up earlier. Yes? Those things for a moment. Now that you mention it, yeah, they are. Good, explosives. Slight smile crosses Rose's face, yet she still seems perfectly composed. Good, then if this goes well, we might be able to take them all out. I want all of you to leave this trench and get to those explosives, says Rose. We'll let the blast take out most of them and clean up the stranglers. See, that's what I call a nice little plan. It also involves explosives. Nice. Identifying our mystery fighters can wait until we're done. No one objects to the captain's decision. The moment she issues the order, we all leap from the trench as one and re-enter the fray. When we reach the battle, we find what appears to be another set of androids dressed in strange black outfits. Ooh. Because they know what's happening, we detonate the explosives, kill the remaining machines, and turn our guns in their direction. Oh, nice. Alright, I say to the strangers, start talking. You have a very nice way of asking for things. Easy, says one of the mystery androids. We're on your side. My new models rolled out as part of something called Project Yoha. Oh, nice. But really, I say, we haven't heard anything about new models. You're on the front lines. How the hell were you supposed to hear about it? Just asking, for a friend. I probably use more bluster than necessary, but I have to make sure they're actually on our side. I don't think they're lying necessarily, but I can't read their expressions thanks to the giant goggles they wear. And frankly, a little caution never goes amiss in the middle of a war. We learned that the 4 androids refer to each other as number 2, number 4, number 16, and number 21. They also aren't in a hurry to share much more. Our mission is top secret, one of them says. That's why you haven't heard about us yet. Slowly draw my knife in an attempt to gauge their reaction. So in other words, no one will know any better if I kill you right now. Stand down, Anemone. They threw they softly. No, cries Lydia, she's right. She has seen how quickly the enemy is evolving. Who's to say that the 4 aren't machines that just look human? My companion's not in agreement. This damn war has made us all suspicious. One of the strangers, number 16 I believe, draws a long knife from its sheath. The fight you want, he says. I'm happy to give it to you. I can respond. Dania leaps in front of me with her weapon at the ready. This is it. We're going to fight. It escalates quite quickly. Somebody should de-escalate that situation. Just before the battle can erupt, the android called number 2 steps forward. Wait, she says. There used to be 16 of us, says number 2. The others died during the descent. We're isolated and alone out here. Reinforcements aren't coming. That means we have to finish this mission with the soldiers we have left. But we don't need more enemies right now. What we need is allies. Yeah, it's a very good point you're making there. You're basically not much left. She finishes this speech with a soft sigh, so trying and feigning to hold her emotions in check. I know that sort of voice. The voice of someone who still has hope, despite all the odds. Ooh, suddenly it gets bright. Ah. Oh shit, apparently I've become... What would that even be called? A book reader? Is that an occupation? Oh boy, I need something for my throat if this is going to continue. And I forgot how long that one was. Ah, bitter. Oh, so I thought before it went down the wrong way. Give me a second here. See, that's what happens when I actually drink something that isn't coffee. It just refuses to go down. Now then, a bit of tobacco. To get the old machine running, and then we go on. According to the Yoha team, there's an enemy server beneath Mount Kaala. Kaala? I don't know. And I don't care enough. If we can take it out, we might finally gain some ground in this endless war. In order for that to happen, we need to work together. After a bit of thought, Rose decides to throw in with the new models. Okay. Relationship that changes as time goes on. Yeah, what are you doing, Dania? Just showing this idiot how weak she is, replies the winded Dania. With her opponent, number 16. You're obviously outmatched. 2 of them are taking turns hitting each other. Efficient. Seems friendly enough as those things go. Plus, they ain't been doing it for so long now that both of them are out of energy. They likely couldn't punch through a piece of paper at this point. The rest of the group stares at the combatants and tries not to grin. It's like a couple of children fighting, isn't that sweet? Dahlia and number 16 seem to butt heads over the smallest little things. Maybe it's because they're so much alike. Yeah, don't tell them that. It's almost annoying how quickly muscleheads learn to like one another. Well, you can bound over lots of things, actually. The rest of us converse as Dahlia and 16 continue to spar. We call each other by names that I gave us, explains Rosie. I see, responds number 4. Sounded strange that you didn't use code numbers. She nods while she speaks, and so this all makes perfect sense. Suddenly, Captain Rosie breaks out with a wide grin. You know what she says? I think we should give all of you names as well. No, says number 2. It would be a waste. Rosie asks severely, a waste? I can name you when the mission is over, she replies, as a blush rises in her cheeks. The words also served as a wish for success. That sounds like a death flag. I'm just gonna point that out. Don't make promises for after the war. Alright, responds Rosie. I'll think of a name for you by then. Just as a fleeting promise. I most just think it doesn't matter. Already I can see us growing closer to the UR team. Bounding over stuff. Well, we're surprised how easy it is to make friends in the trenches. Because you know, the man next to you is much like you, pretty likely to die, so easy to bound. Well, my friends are growing closer to them at least. You are being careless, I state, much louder than I intend. Luckily the others either don't hear or decide to ignore it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not about to go against the captain's judgment. But it doesn't mean I'm ready to just lie down and trust our new friends. Ours is a solitary existence that has long since been abandoned by the moon. No matter how they cried, mourned or struggled, the voices of departed comrades went unanswered. So how can you trust an entire squad of new models that you just met? What's wrong, Anemone? I hear Lily calling to me. She's likely concerned about me being apart from the rest of the group. Nothing, I begin. I'm fine. Before I can complete my thought, Lily suddenly opens her mouth and emits a terrible scream. I'm not gonna scream. Just imagine a long off. Lily's scream echoes throughout the entire camp. It's heartbreaking. It's agony. It's horrible. She's infected, screams Rosa. Lily's infected. Well, shit. We all draw weapons out of instinct as much as anything else, pointing them at our comrade as she continues to scream and scream and scream. We all know what's happening. We've seen it before. It's a logic virus, a shield weapon that hijacks Android systems and overwrites their data. Since there's no known cure, it's also a death sentence. I need to show her mercy. I need to set her free. My finger rests on the trigger, yet I hesitate. Before I can make that final, fateful decision, I hear a voice rise up from somewhere behind me. Stop, you can't do this. You can't just let your friend die. It's number 21. The girl I found to be cool and composed beyond all measure was now pleading with me to spare Lily's life. What do I do? What the hell do I do? You have two choices, it's not that hard. Pull the trigger, follow your instinct, or what you think is right, or don't do it, and put faith and hope, I guess. Lily said you were like a family to her. You can't abandon family, not before you exhaust every possibility. What can you do then? I use my power to erase the virus. That's impossible. Rosa sped out what we were all thinking, but before we can act, Lily starts to send nearby comrades flying with impossible strength. I've seen infected androids before. I know how much damage they can do once the virus turns off their limiters. They'll fight and fight until they're utterly destroyed. Alien number 16 rushed into the fray, trying to suppress their former friend, but she sweats them away like flies. How many of us have been infected now? How many friends have been forced to put down? But I'm not supposed to have aches with the thought. It aches as I remember all of the identification numbers that have been retired. It's pretty much like collecting dog tags. It makes you uncomfortable. And then I start giving them names. When you decide I simply couldn't endure it any longer. Initiating reprogramming sequence. That was number 21. He screamed something about reprogramming. Oh. You're a bit of a scanner model yourself, eh? I don't know what to do. I am lost. As my vision slowly clears, I see number 21 inputting commands into a terminal, while number 2 and number 4 hold her down. They hold her as she relays and Rose stares at me with surprise. Oh no. I'm holding Lily too. Moved a bit faster than you could, eh? Keep up with the thinking, eh? Ah, see, it actually was Scanner 21, Attacker 4, Gunner 16. Just in case you ever wondered why they are called S9 and A2 and stuff like that. Yeah. Not the most creative way of naming people. But convenient. At least that much can be said. Oh boy. There's a part 3, isn't there? Let me get a bit of coffee. Better. Yeah. 14th Machine War. Pearl Harbor Descent. The name of the mission trusted to the Yoha soldiers. Was there ever such furious gunfire? Such bombings that continued without pause? Well, I would kind of point over to Dresden and be like, yeah, with bombings we know a road, but our target is the machine server under Mount Kaala, and the situation is dire. Oh, I'm not even going to question if that is the name of that mountain. Well, we need reinforcement. Requesting deployment at once. The two speaks quickly yet calmly, which is all the more remarkable considering the hostile army closing in our position. But the command center in the orbiting satellite informs us no reinforcements will be forthcoming. We are abandoned. We are alone. So easy to do from up there, from the satellite, from the moon. I'll do whatever is necessary, says Lily with a grim smile. Alia and Margaret quickly note agreement, as does number 16. They decide to join the rearguard, staying behind to be our shield, though it comes at the cost of their own lives. Regardless, they all agreed without hesitation. For we in the vanguard would be joining them in death soon enough. If your rearguard gets annihilated and your vanguard gets annihilated, and I don't think you have enough troops to have anything in between, that means you're all dead. I point out your plan is shite. Without another word, we turn our backs on each other and take up positions. We know this is the end. Gali and the others will buy us time to reach the gated Kaala's Peak. Beyond that lies an elevator, and beyond that is the server. We can destroy it. There will be a devastating blow to machine platforms throughout the Pacific region. And as I notice number 21 scolding at the elevator, I start with a bad feeling about the final stage of our mission. Go on, she says. I've got this. Crowd into the elevator as she begins hacking the terminal. She doesn't need to tell us what's happening. It's clear that the elevator will descend all the way to the server unless someone stays behind to control it. Enemies incoming. They are almost on us. As I speak, I suddenly find myself leaping from the elevator, taking a position at number 21's side, almost as if my body is out of my control. That sounds suicidal. Something is wrong, something. I'll back up number 21, I cry. The rest of you take out that server. The doors close on my friends. Gunner Sangsi is the face of my captain, Rosie. She looks concerned, but in the doors shut and she is no more. That was the last time I ever saw them. But it's alright, I'm going to finish this one way or the other. The only sounds we hear are distant explosions and the rasp of number 21's breathing. Thank you, she whispers, for staying with me. I look at her eyes and see the telltale red of a logic virus infection. I was right after all. I sigh softly as I draw my weapon. I've seen comrades infected before. That's why I couldn't leave her to die alone. The vaccine she gave Lily is already ineffective. The enemy has evolved. They studied number 21's patterns and developed a new resistance. Oh, they are a virus, eh? No one can save her now. When the elevator reaches the server, begins number 21 weekly. Then I'll give you peace, I reply. The elevator moves ever lower, creating a countdown on number 21's life. How much time has passed? How much can possibly be left? Too long to wait, yet not long enough for regret. A massive explosion echoes in the distance as the hall slowly shakes. It's the final act of Lily and the others in the rearguard. They just overloaded their own fusion reactors. The sound of a comrade's demise slowly fades from our ears. As it does, number 21 reaches up and slowly removes her googles. I'm glad I got to meet you, she says. Her eyes are so red, but not completely. There's still a little of herself left. And while it is, don't worry, I say, I'll be with you soon. She smiles as my words reach her ears. As soon as the elevator touches down, I fire a bullet into number 21's brain. I watch the thing that used to be her tumble to the ground. I stare at the gun I hold in trembling hands. I press it to my temple. This will end it all. The war. My meaningless existence. All of it. It'll finally be over. Unforgivable. 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 Your comrades sacrifice themselves and fight to the last breath. They feel suffering, they feel sadness, they feel pain and terror. And yet you would surrender now? Unforgivable. This voice is a battlefield curse, telling those who survive to see their mission through no matter what. It is another me crying out. I scream at the top of my lungs and race down the hall. I'll show you. You're going to push me, I'll show you. You'll only be satisfied if it ends with more killing. I leap into the fray with weapons in both hands. Here I am. Here I am. Kill me! As I scream, an explosion suddenly rises up and sweeps everything away. Soft wind touches my cheek. I smell fire. I smell ash. The explosion in the server room was powerful enough to take out Mount Carmel itself, reducing the once proud summit to a smoking crater. The machines immediately drop to the ground and stop moving. I look out over the scorched earth. Lily, number 16, Rosie, number 2, are any of you? I am the only one left. The only one. I was alive because I had been afraid to die. I begin to giggle. That's a mad thing, crazed even to my own ears. I'll join you soon. You promised to join us soon. How could I have said such vain, laughable words? Such lies. I laugh, stand in the smoke and the flame and laugh until I think my very throat will tear itself in two. I blink. Daylight drifts through the smoke. I've been standing here all night. My laughter finally depleted, I force myself to my feet. I'm the coward who stayed behind, the coward who lived. Now it's my job to carry on the will of those who fought at my side. Since I can't kill myself, I have to fight until someone does it for me. I endure every hardship, I cover every machine I find. This is my cross to bear. I walk slowly into the west, dragging my broken body along. Jesus, that was long.